And so guys, this is the Wednesday, May 18th, Wisdom from Peter Zoom, guys. And we're it's CJ's birthday, as we just celebrated with the happy birthday song. Way to celebrate your birthday with a massive week and wrapping up a massive month. Guys, the good news is June is the 5-week month of the second quarter. We're in it. So it is so much easier to earn bonuses. You got an extra week to earn these bonuses. So just look at your numbers from last month. Think how cool it would be if this week you still had this week to throw on top of last month. Well, you don't, but you've got that opportunity this month. So get excited about that, and let's maximize that as much as we possibly can. So guys, yesterday we got a real treat. We got to hear the demonstration of the #1 agent in the entire country, in the entire world, selling Globe Life Family Heritage products, Mr. CJ Clark. And guys, the only part of his demo that we really didn't get to, based on time, was the rebuttals. And I've already had a half dozen people ask me, or if, hey, I heard from so-and-so, we really wish CJ could have gotten to those rebuttals because Kyle was kind of easy. It was kind of a layup. He just rolled over and bought. And guys, here's the deal. That happens a lot when you give a really good introduction and you find a specific need and you use names and you develop rapport and you build trust using those names and telling those stories to relate it to them. You know, you don't get that many objections at the end when you do a good job of that, and you fill that need with our product or service. You get a firm commitment to a yes or no on the front end, and then you close word for word. You just don't get as many objections as you would otherwise, okay? But you're still going to get some. And guys, I want to talk to you today about how wouldn't it be cool if you could add 20%, okay, 20% to your sales, okay? That would mean instead of 5 sales a week earning 70 grand a year, you could make 6 sales a week on average, earning about 86 to 90 a year, okay? That's the difference, okay? It's a significant difference. And guys, when you understand human nature and you acknowledge people's objection, you empathize with them, you let them know that they're not crazy, okay? Other people have felt that same way first until they found out this little bit of extra information that I'm about to give you, and then reclose. Guys, I'm telling you, 15 to 20% of the people that are currently not buying from you will make a buying decision, okay? They will buy from you. Guys, and Brad Corvey, it's been probably 3 months ago, did a phenomenal, it was an hour-long session on rebuttals. I remember that specifically because I was sitting in my car next to Renee in her car, listening to this on a it was either a Monday morning or a Thursday. Anyway, it was one of the, yeah. And so, and it was awesome, guys. Think about it. Most of us spend a full day. If you have 5 transactions a week, that means you're taking 8 to 9 hours to find one person to buy, guys. 8 to 9 hours to find one person to buy. Isn't it worth it to take an extra minute to 2 minutes to give a rebuttal to get that person on board? You've invested all that time to find one person, okay? Why not take an extra 2 minutes to do a part that can actually double your production for the day? So I want to share with you guys a little bit about our objection and response system. So guys, just defining what an objection is. It's the prospect's stated reason for not signing the application when you go through the close, okay? And here's the deal. It may or may not be the truth, okay? Chances are it's really not the truth. Guys, there's a saying, the buyer's the liar, okay? Most people assume, because they've interacted with unscrupulous salespeople, whether it be the used car salesman or whether it be that slick talking vacuum salesman, they've dealt with some people that may or may not be telling the truth. So they feel like, hey, I'll even the playing field. I don't have to tell the truth. Okay. So guys, the problem is as salespeople, we just take people's words for face value. I need to think about it. Oh, I guess he really needs to think about it. No, they don't. That's just their knee-jerk reaction. Okay. Normally the first few objections are simply knee-jerks. Okay. An automated response that's just used to cover many situations where a decision is required. Okay. People are conditioned to do that. Okay. Think about your mom or your dad. When you went out to go look at your first car, they said, don't buy that car on the first time, walk off the lot. Okay. You want to just looking, you want to just keep things safe, keep them at arm's length. So this section, what we're going to talk about, this is to help you understand objections and how to overcome them. Okay. So here, first off, before you can really learn how to overcome them, it's really important to understand basic human nature. And I hope you guys are jotting down some really detailed notes. Okay. As a sales professional, you're selling the prospect on a brand new concept. Okay. It said knowledge breeds confidence. We talk about that all the time. Also, guys, lack of knowledge breeds timidity and fear. Okay. When a prospect is shown a new idea, his or her knowledge is going to be somewhat shaky, and therefore their confidence in buying is going to be pretty low. Okay. When this occurs, an objection usually arises. That's usually the result. It usually doesn't come in the form of, excuse me, Mr. Salesperson, I have a basic lack of understanding of your product, so please explain it to me further. Okay. They don't say that. Usually the prospect says something more like, hey, looks good, I need to think about it. Okay. It's important to remember that most objections are based on one common emotion. Okay. And that's fear. Okay. In other words, there's no logical reason for the objection. The prospect is just not emotionally sold on the product enough to stick their neck out and take a chance. Okay. What's said is one thing, but what they mean is usually quite different. So let's talk about what a couple of the objections are. Okay. When someone says, I need to think about it. Okay. What they mean is, I need to think about it since I'm not sold on the idea yet, or since I'm not sure about your company yet. Okay. When someone says, I can't afford it. Okay. What they're not, the rest of that sentence is, I can't afford it since I'm not yet convinced it's of value to me. It's worth paying out that amount of money. Guys, they can't afford it. Those same people are going to go to Walmart and drop $150 on junk later that day because they feel like it's worth it. Okay. Our job is to help them understand why it's worth it, because they can't afford it. If they say, I need to talk to my spouse, the rest of that sentence is, I need to talk to my spouse unless I'm totally convinced about it. Guys, I promise you, ladies that need to ask their husband, they spend money all the time without asking their husband. Okay. Promise you, they do. We've used that, going out to lunch, hey, would you have to call your husband and ask him if it was okay to go out to lunch with your girlfriends today? Of course not. But you'd easily go drop $20, $15 on lunch, thinking nothing of it. You do that once a week, that's $60, $80 a month. That's a policy. Hey, we have all we need right now. Okay. Unless you can show me something that will be of a benefit to me. Okay. So guys, our response system has been designed to determine the real reason for people not buying. Okay. It's done in a pleasant professional manner, non-threatening. Okay. Non-pushy. It's not designed to make a person buy something they really don't want, but rather it's designed to help buyers sort out how they really feel about the product so they can make the right decision for their family. And guys, there's 4 key elements to this system. Okay. You want to write these down. 1 is to acknowledge the objection. 2, give additional information. Okay, guys, people won't change their minds. They will make a new decision based on new additional information. Okay. In most cases, that additional information is an IRA. Okay. 3rd part of this is emotional close. And then the 4th part is close and stay closed. Okay. So I'm going to go through each of these parts here with you real quick. First, step 1, acknowledge the objection. Okay. That's simply the difference between talking at a person and talking to the person. Okay. Whether the objection is considered the truth or not, no one appreciates their statements being dismissed without some due regard to the sales professional. Okay. Or from the sales professional. Okay. So phrases that work well usually start with, hey, I certainly can appreciate that. Or, yeah, I know how you feel. Okay, guys, that's empathy. You're acknowledging their objection. Okay, step 1. Step 2, give additional information.
Hey, Ben, would that be a good feel, felt, found for 1?
I understand how you feel. That would be step 1 in the feel, felt, found method. Yes, absolutely. Good point. So guys, in giving additional information, and I'll use the found here in this part too. Giving additional information gives the customer the opportunity to change their mind without losing face. Guys, understand, people are proud. When they say no, they're not going to change their mind. Giving them new information to form a new opinion helps them save face and not be embarrassed, and they don't have to say, oh, I was wrong. You're right. Let me go ahead and get this. People don't do that. Okay. This is basic human nature. They can say to themselves instead, oh, I didn't realize that fact. And in light of this new information, it makes sense to change my mind. They're not going to say that out loud, but that's what's going through their brain. Okay. You're trying to further educate the prospect so that they may gain knowledge and ultimately, confidence to make a yes decision. So I understand how you feel. Other folks have felt the same way. Okay. Until they found out what this could mean for their family. And that is where you go to step 3, an emotional close, additional information. Okay. Many times the prospect believes that the product is a good one, but they might fail to see where it would fit into their personal situation. Okay. The emotional close helps bring the prospect in touch with the advantages of what the product would mean to them personally. Okay. It can kind of prove to be that little motivating nudge that helps close the sale. And then guys, step 4 is close and stay closed. Okay. You have to go back and close a second time. It's necessary simply to submit the subject at hand for a new decision. No close equals no decision. Okay. If you just sit there and say, what do you think? That's not going to work. Okay. You want to assumptively go back in and go, great. You say you do get your mail at your house. Super. What's that address? Breaking eye contact. Okay. Even though you just did that 3 minutes earlier, you got to do that again. It's important to know exactly what you're going to say because the close has zero room for rambling. Okay. So use those first 3 steps, then close and say close. Okay. So here's how. Okay, guys. So this response sequence is designed to be used when the prospect has raised an objection or any reason that they can't make a yes decision about your product. Okay. Rarely does this come in the form of a flat no. Guys, think about it. Yesterday, if you did 6 presentations and sold 1, you had 5 people not buy. Okay. Those 5 people, I probably maximum of 1 said, actually, nope, I don't see the value in this. Not for me. It's usually more of an excuse. Okay. And it falls into one of 4 categories. Okay. Procrastination, I need to think about it. Financial, I can't afford it. Number 3 you want to write down would be spouse. Okay. And if they're younger, that might be parent. Okay. Significant other. I need to ask my fill in the blank. Right. And then the last one will be need. We got all we need right now. Okay. Guys, it's natural. So procrastination, financial, spouse, or need. Those are the 4 categories that objections fall into. And it's natural to want to believe what the prospect says, but it's usually just smoke. Okay. It's a convenient reason that sounds perfectly reasonable. Okay. What's important to understand is that 95% of all objections are not the real issue. Okay. The real issue is the prospect is not yet at the point of believing that the product offered is enough value to them that it'd be worth the money to buy it. Okay. So initially when a prospect says, I can't afford it, your natural inclination is to show them why they can't afford it. Okay. When they say, I need to ask my wife, then you're going to feel like telling them directly why they can make their own decision. As a prospect says, I need to think about it, you may feel like showing them why they can make the decision now, or you might sympathize with them, give them a brochure and set a time to come back and see them later. And guys, we already know how that leads. Okay. So why do the same thing over and over and expecting different results? That's insanity. That doesn't work. Okay. But the approach that the best possibility at solving these problems is showing the prospect reasons why they would want to be, why they want to own it. In fact, most Americans would go beyond their means to buy something that they truly want. Okay. And the same is true of the other objections stated by the prospect. Okay. In other words, either the objection's real or it's a delay. Okay. In almost all cases, it's a delay. So it's best to treat all objections as delays. Okay. Again, there's going to be 5% that are legit, but if you treat the other 95% like they're legit, you're wasting your time. Treat them all like they're just delays. The fact is, most people just hate to make decisions, so they'd rather delay it and give you an excuse of some kind, okay? By understanding this fundamental quirk of human nature, you're going to gain a big understanding of what objections mean and the best methods to get around them, okay? So guys, I'm going to role play here for a minute with my trusty assistant, Miss Casey B. Fine, on the rebuttals, okay? And I want you guys to listen, not to just the words, but how the words are said, okay? And pay attention to that. With every one, there is new information given in the form of an IRA, okay? A testimonial from a disinterested third party, okay? Remember, guys, people believe about half of what salespeople say. They believe about 75, 80% of what a disinterested third party says. That's our IRAs, okay? Or business owner testimonial. But they believe 100% of what they say. So again, guys, Casey, in order to get you started, I just need to get your address. Do you get your mail at your house, or do you get it down at the post office?
Is this signing me up?
Yeah, well, only if you want to be protected.
It sounds great, man. I really, really like it. It makes perfect sense, but I don't like to make really quick decisions. I like to research things and on my own, and just don't like to make a decision hasty. Yep.
Well, Casey, I mean, I certainly understand how you feel. In fact, a few people, like your friend Susie, that works in shipping, and Marcy, who works at the front desk, actually felt the same way at first until they found out just what this could mean for their family. So here's actually a claim that was recently paid to the Blaylock family. This is actually for Sarah Blaylock, and you can see we paid them $33,855 when she went through her battle with cancer. She said here, I've had my policy for a while now. When we purchased the policy, I never dreamed we'd ever use it. I thought of it as a savings account. So it was a good idea all around. A couple of years later, at age 27, my husband woke to me having a seizure, which led to a brain tumor, stage 4, and then brain surgery, chemotherapy, radiation, countless MRIs, CT scans, et cetera, et cetera. Had it not been for our family heritage policy, we would have lost all we worked for. Since then, all the girls I work with have bought cancer policies. You never know what's in store for you tomorrow. With this policy, we were able to not just survive, but to thrive in the midst of the biggest storm of our lives. God bless this company and those who go out and sell these policies. I feel as though it was divine intervention. Katie Blaylock, 30 years old and surviving. And you see, Casey, it's not that Sarah was planning to use the policy when she got it, but it just happened. And fortunately, she and her family were prepared. And Casey, I really hope that you or any of your family member never gets cancer, right? But you never can tell. Isn't that true?
Yeah, definitely.
And if someone in your family were to ever be diagnosed as having cancer, I know you'd want them to have the very best treatment, right?
Definitely.
And we both know that getting the best treatment can make a big difference and can be pretty expensive, right?
Yeah.
And really, Casey, if all this policy did was give the ability to get the kind of treatment that you wanted instead of only that which you could afford, it'd be well worth having, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would.
So why take a chance, especially when you know that if you never need it, you're going to get your money back anyway? That makes a lot of sense, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Great. What'd you say that address is at home?
1045 Barnett Drive.
Okay. So guys, at this point, you've brought the prospect to a brand new point of decision. Okay. New information, new decision. Okay, guys, no information, just arguing with them about their yes or their no equals no new decision. It's still going to be a no, still going to be a think about it, wait about it. If they give you the address, then write the application. And if they give you another objection, which is certainly possible, then you just proceed to response number 2. And guys, you got to understand, it does not matter what comes out of their mouth. Think about it, pray about it, ask my husband, ask my wife. Talk to my financial planner. I got to look at my finances. They could say the sky is purple. It does not matter what comes out of their mouth. You know exactly the first thing you're going to say is feel, felt, found, right? So guys, respond. Let's say Casey objected again. Hey, that does make a lot of sense, but I still need to think about it. Okay. So and Casey, I can appreciate what you're saying. The Johnsons felt pretty much the same way at first, but then they found out one thing that helped them make the best decision about this. And they were 3 basic questions. First, do you think that there's any possibility that you or someone in your family could ever get cancer at some time in the future?
Sure.
Okay. I mean, we hope it doesn't happen, but it's possible, right? And second, if someone in your family had cancer, do you think the thousands of dollars that you'd get from this policy would help out?
Oh, definitely.
Okay. It really would, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
And guys, third, Casey, when you think about it, $83 a month, $83 a month or $20 a week is what people have told me they spend on things like cable TV or their cell phone bill or just taking the family out to eat on a Friday night. When you think about it, that really wouldn't change your standard of living much, would it?
Yeah, probably not.
Yeah. And most people feel like it's not even worth taking the chance, especially since you get your money back if you never use it. That makes sense, doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah. Great. Did you say you get your mail? You do get it at the house?
I do, but I still would like to discuss it with my husband. We don't make decisions like this, financial decisions, without each other. It's kind of like a deal we have with each other. We always discuss everything before we make decisions that are financially related.
Sure. I can definitely appreciate that too. You know what? Actually, let me share with you this, Casey, this testimonial from the Kleitz family. Richard and Elizabeth actually picked up our policy several years back, and Richard went through cancer of the mouth. His wife Elizabeth wrote here, we're very happy with the way Family Heritage came through for us during this trying time. We had just signed up for the cancer insurance 1 month, and the next month my husband was diagnosed with mouth cancer. Thank goodness we didn't procrastinate like we sometimes do and signed on when we did. You never know what the future holds. Now, Casey, let's suppose that there's a crystal ball sitting right here in front of us. I'm not a big fan of hypotheticals, but let's say we did, and you could look into the future, okay? And you could see yourself 25 years from now, okay? How would it feel, walking out to the mailbox, no one in your family ever gotten cancer, perfect health, and there was a check with your name on it for $22,000. How would that feel?
Great.
Yeah. Why is that?
Vacation time.
Right? It'd be nice to have that money saved, right?
Definitely.
Cool. So now what if we looked into the crystal ball that same 20, and 3 years from now, you were diagnosed with breast cancer. And you did decide to get the policy today and the benefits paid out and it paid you enough to help out. How would you feel about that decision to get the policy today?
I feel like it was a really smart decision.
Why is that?
Just, you never know. Just having that backup plan just in case.
Mm-hmm. It's smart, huh?
Yeah.
Casey, the crystal ball could also show us a third scenario that, 3 years down the road, you were diagnosed with that same breast cancer and you decided to not get the policy today, to procrastinate, to put it off. How'd you feel about your decision then?
Probably regret that decision.
Why is that?
Because I'm sure I could use the extra money. I would imagine, we get tough financially. Be able
Yeah.
to work a little bit.
Yeah. Nobody wins when we procrastinate, do we? Huh?
No.
So you see, Casey, the crystal ball shows us that the only way you lose is if you don't have the policy when you need it. That makes a lot of sense, doesn't it?
It does.
Great. And I think that's why so many families like the Johnsons, the Smiths, the McGlones, and the Blaylocks have picked this up. Well, actually, the only thing I need to do in order to get you and your family protected like these families is just jot down your address. Do you say you do get your mail at the house or do you get it up at the post office?
At home.
Great. What's that address?
1045 Barnett Drive. I do have a question though. Is this something that later on, if I sign up today and I go home and talk to my husband, and maybe he wants to do more coverage. I'm just not really comfortable with doing the top level coverage without discussing it with him.
Sure.
Is that something that we could bump up in the future or even lower if need be.
Yeah, absolutely. What you're talking about is same thing that Susie was talking about earlier, is that she wanted the coverage. She just didn't know if the elite level fit in her budget right now, but she knew that if she cut that in half, she knew that 64 fit in her budget a lot better than 110. Why don't we just go ahead and get you started with the preferred level for now? And you can always lower that, or you can raise it as long as you're still healthy and you still qualify. You can raise that at any time. That'd make a lot of sense, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Let's do the preferred 4 then.
Awesome. So guys, let me just pause for a second. What was just takeaways? What did you hear in there that can help you in your efforts to get a few of those people that are right there on the fence over the buying line and protected?
The options to not have the highest coverage and to be able to go back in the future and get a higher level of coverage. So having that option to say, hey, I realize this could be a financial decision, and maybe, you're not prepared to spend this much money every month right now, but you can go back in the future and change it. But it would still behoove you to have minimal coverage at the moment,
Absolutely. Thanks, Josh.
Yep.
I would say it is the crystal ball. Like, I've used the crystal ball, but never like the past, present, future part of it, which is super easy and totally puts things into perspective. I've just never used all 3 parts of it.
Yep. Guys, you can use if you're baking cookies and you only use 2/3 of the recipe, there's a decent chance those cookies won't turn out the way you want them, right? So we got to use the whole recipe, right? The whole deal. Start to finish.
Dana, I'm gonna add a little something here if you don't mind. Y'all, a lot of these rebuttals that Dana is going through, very simple to do and have helped me tremendously. Not only just protect a lot more families, but also, help grow my bank account a good bit. And there's a lot of these objections you can use on the front end before they even have an option to even say them to you. And of course, y'all dealing with objections on the front end makes the close so much easier. So they don't even have those objections on the back end when you get to the close. Kind of like that's why, we do the spouse, rebuttal in the buying atmosphere, things like that. Hey, Van, if you, so I'm going to show this to you, man. And, when I'm done showing it to you, man, if you don't mind just doing me a simple favor, if you like it, you'll love it. It looks, you think it's great, fits in the budget, all that good stuff. Cool. Just give me a simple yes. If not, a simple no is fine. It's not going to hurt my feelings. I'm not going to cry on the way out of here. Is that fair enough to ask, Van? Yeah. Okay, cool. Well, Van, I know you said you're married, right? How long have you been married to Leslie, your wife? 15, 20 years, something like that. I don't know. And I'm sure she trusts your opinion. And I'm not going to see in the newspaper next week, in the Raleigh newspaper, that woman divorces spouse of, 15, 20 years for getting their family financially protected from, things like cancer or bad accidents, right? Okay, cool. So I just want to make sure that's not going to be a big deal. Because it's not. Some people really overthink this thing. But y'all, just like using these simple objections that Van's talking about, I can't tell you how much higher my closing percentage went up when I started using a lot of those on the front end, and just understanding what's happening across the table from their situation. Whatever objections you need to fit their situation, that way you have the objection at the end. So y'all aware of what's across the table, understand their situation, know your audience. Once I really got good at understanding my audience and who I'm speaking to, I started getting a lot less objections.
Yep. Brad, thank you for sharing that, guys. That's so true, guys. When you know rebuttals like the back of your hand, you don't have to wait until an objection comes up to then pull it out and use it. Guys, we've done enough demonstrate. If you've been here a month and you've done more than 100 demonstrations, you feel it when that spousal objection is probably going to rear its ugly head, and you don't have to wait till you get it to cover it a second time. Okay. You can actually go ahead and cover and share an IRA right before you go into the close. Okay, right before you go in that close, you can share one last IRA from a person that's really glad they didn't procrastinate and went ahead and signed on when they did. And go ahead and get that person over that hump thinking, don't procrastinate, don't wait before. Okay, a lot of the best salespeople, you see them and they don't get those. They're like, man, you got great territory. You don't get objections. People, well, it's because they're playing chess, not checkers, guys. They're sensing that and they're covering it before they get to it. And then they're just closing. So guys, I would just challenge each of you, learn your rebuttals just as good as you know your approach. And guys, I want to share this with you. Every single one of you has a success manual. Okay. If you don't, shame on you. Get one, print one up today and have it. Because the success manual is a book that was written by the best leader ever known in this business, Peter Ferret, on how to be successful at the business that you chose to meet all your financial goals in life. Okay. Pretty important book to read and learn cover to cover.
And if y'all don't know where that is, it's right there on the Protect One Family website. So if you don't know where the success manual is, just jump on the website. And if you're still having issues, just ask one of us. But yes.
Here, real quickly, guys, let me just really show you real quickly. Just protectonefamily.com. All right. Go over here to log in, agent resources area. Boom. Okay. Everybody should have your login. If you don't know it, Nicole can get it for you. Agent resources area, new hires is the first part, new agents, the orange part, far left, success manual. Click on that. Boom. It's right there. Print it. Keep a copy at 3-hole punch, keep it in a spiral bound notebook. And guys, read that sucker every day. Because guys, what I just shared with you came straight from it. Okay. Some of you guys are going, wow, that's amazing information that Van prepared for us today. No, it's not. It's just page 90 through 97 in the success manual, guys. And it's completely there available for you to use to level up and become better. Because guys, I think Cajun Lobb said it in his recording that we listened to, and running your business, is that the job never gets any easier, but it sure seems that way when you level up and get better. And this is just a great way to do that. So guys, put it in your schedule, guard that sharpening the saw time, and get your saw as sharp as it can possibly be. And you're going to find that cutting wood becomes a lot easier. So guys, thanks for being on. Again, this is week 1 of week 5 of the sales month of June. Let's max it out, guys, because the best way to have a great month is to have a great start, to have a first week of the month. Best way to have a great first week is to have a great first half. And this is the last day of the first half. So let's finish the first half of this week strong so we can have a strong finish, which is only going to bleed into a strong month. Guys, thanks for being on. Have a rock and roll day. And let's level up. This is recorded and this will be on our YouTube channel. Again, go to YouTube and search Globe Life, Family Heritage, Davenport, Schneider Agencies. Follow it. All these are on there for you to use to level up on your own. Have a great day, guys.